I did this for people who often doubted me, and all the backstabbers who betrayed me.
Hey, what's up? I'm back again with another video. It's your boy Supreme Reign Illuminati, and today we're gonna be doing what you call Areece Cold SwayCypher video. So I've been gone for a while, and that's because I was waiting for my mic and I couldn't make videos. So here's the debate today. I'm not gonna waste time like dabbling into things that don't matter. So I'm just gonna go straight into it, and we'll see. So the reason why I'm doing this video is because there was a debate where when Sway came to SA, we're debating who had the hardest verse. So we had J Molly, Rouge, I don't know who else, and Areece. That was the only three I remember. So basically, a lot of people were disappointed that Areece didn't spit a hard verse, which I disagreed with. So the reason why I'm doing this is to prove maybe that the verse was hard, because whenever I heard it the first time, I knew that it went over my head, you feel me? So we're going to be breaking it down, analyzing it, trying to find what he was trying to say. I did some research, you feel me? Because the boy goes deep. So without wasting time, let's just go into the video and just analyze the verse. So let us just play the video. And guys, don't forget, I don't have the lyrics to this, so some of it is going to be miss and go because there wasn't any lyrics published on this, like official lyrics, like the original one. So I'm just going to be guessing here and here. So don't be say I said the wrong thing. I really try my best. Let me just let's go into it.
It's all about some paradigm work in the strapper. Can y'all hear me? This is Illmatics. Can y'all hear me? 25 years later since Illmatic, still it ain't hard to tell the difference between the wave creators and the Michael Phelps. The difference between the great whites and the beluga whales. They underhandedly asking me for some help. Fuck them all, they just relying on me for some clientele, yeah. They only friends when they got some tickets to sell. Ghost Rider bravado, I'm on the highway to hell. Bon Scott, hot-headed, you see my skull through the scalp. The cash.
So we're gonna stop there just to try to get it, because it's really deep. So I just want to go like deep into the bars. So he started off by saying 25 years later since Illmatic, still it ain't hard to tell the difference between the wave creators and the Michael Phelps, the difference between the great whites and the beluga whales. So we're gonna just start on the first word. 25 years later since Illmatic. Illmatic is Nas's album that came out in 1994, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it was such a huge album, it changed the culture. It was moving. So it's like 25 years later since Illmatic, still it ain't hard to tell the difference between the wave creators and the Michael Phelps. So when on the second line he says still ain't hard to tell. So on Illmatic, the album, the 10th track, the name of the 10th track is Still Ain't Hard to Tell, right? So he uses the scheme of Illmatic, still ain't hard to tell the difference between the wave creators and the Michael Phelps, right? Already that's a bar, right? That's the first bar. He says 25 years since Illmatic, and he says the difference between the wave creators and the Michael Phelps. So if you know Michael Phelps, he's the most successful Olympian, right? With like more than 25 medals, I think. So he's possibly the best swimmer we've ever seen. So basically, Areece says still ain't hard to tell the difference between the wave creators and the Mike Phelps. He must be talking about Nas, right? With Illmatic, Nas created a wave. He brought in something new. And he's comparing to himself to Nas being a wave creator than a Mike Phelps. So what's the difference between wave creators and the Michael Phelps? Okay, my analogy on this is that Michael Phelps is a winner in the swimming pool. So, and then waves are created in the ocean, right? The natural waves. And who creates the waves? That is God, right? Nature creates the waves, and they are big, right? The waves that swimmers create in the small pool is small compared to the ones in the ocean. So you're busy focusing on people who are winning inside the small pool, right? And you couldn't tell the difference between the ones who creating waves, like on the last song we did, like when he said the wave was downloaded, right? Creating waves, it's a wave file, but creating a hip hop wave that people follow, right? Like, and I'm comparing it to waves in the ocean. So you comparing small winners to people who create the whole movements in hip hop. That would be him, right? That's my analogy, because he really used the best person you can with swimming. So the analogy, so it still ain't hard to tell for him, but for other people it might not be as easy it is to tell. So, and then he's like also the difference between the great whites and the beluga whales. So basically, a great white is possibly the most fierce shark there is in the ocean. I'm not into animals, so I don't know. But the thing that is different between these two, the beluga whale is all white, and then the great white shark is named the great white shark, but it's not white, right? There's a difference, right? Just because you're a beluga whale, you're white, doesn't mean you're a great white. Like him, is a shark, is deadly. You feel me? The difference between the great whites and the beluga whales. The difference is skill. The other one has the pigment of being all white, but the name of the great white is not a white shark, but it's named the great white. It's great in its whatever it does, kills other animals. And he's like, they underhandedly asking me for some help. Fuck them all. They just relying on me for some clientele. So I guess everybody knows who's he talking to. That's a nasty sea ball, right? Like, they're underhandedly asking me for some help. Fuck them all. They're just relying on me for some clientele. Yeah, they're only friends when they got tickets to sell, right? So this scheme, you can see it. It's more like, you remember when Nasty C invited, who's this? Areece on his Iverson tour, and then they had a falling out of where they ended up blaming Areece for the Iverson tour of what happened. So it's like they underhandedly asking me for some help. The help is coming with a very a subjective what you call plan. Like, they're asking him for some help. They want to be friends when it benefits them, and then they want to be friends when they get tickets to sell, right? Iverson tour. They want to use Areece to sell the tickets for the Iverson tour, right? So let's move on. He's like, Ghost Rider provider, I'm on the highway to hell. Whew, now this one is a tough one, right? I don't know where we ended on the track. Let me check. Okay, we ended there. He's like, let me check the lyrics that I wrote down. It's like, Ghost Rider provider, I'm on a highway to hell, right? Bon Scott, hot-headed. You can see my skull through the skull. You can see my skull through the scalp, or you can see my skull through the scalp. I don't know what he means by that, but let me just check it out. Okay, let's start from the comic books. Everybody knows the story Ghost Rider. That movie's pretty famous. So there's something called Ghost Rider, Highway to Hell, and it is a collection of 3 comic books, right? That summarizes the whole comic books Ghost Rider thing, right? Highway to Hell, right? Areece is saying, Ghost Rider provider, I'm on a highway to hell. And then he mentions somebody here, Bon Scott, right? Highway to Hell. So Highway to Hell is also a song, right? By a group named AC/DC, and their lead singer is Bon Scott. So Areece is matching the Ghost Rider from the comics and the movies to the singer with the song Highway to Hell. And there's a Ghost Rider 2 with the comic books named Highway to Hell, but he mentions Bon Scott and says he's hot-headed, like the Ghost Rider, like the guy. His head is on flames, right? You can see my skull through the scalp, right? It's burning off his skin, so you can see the skull. I don't know what he means. Is he the hottest, or is he something? I don't know, but you get the picture. So let's continue listening.
They only friends when they got some tickets to sell. Ghost Rider bravado, I'm on the highway to hell. Bon Scott, hot-headed, you see my skull through the scalp. The cash fetish got the veins poking out my calves. Rain, snow, sleet, or hail, baby boy prevails over any spell. Never sold a tale. I swear the boy really a star like Bartlett, no NFL.
We're gonna end there, so let's continue with those ones, because I don't wanna like carry on for too long. So he's like, the cash fetish got my veins poking out my calf. Right, so I'm gonna explain the word from fetish and all that. Let me just delete these. So as you know, the word fetish is also always related to a sexual desire. People have fetishes, but Areece quotes a cash fetish. So basically, what the urban definition of a cash fetish is that when a chick, I'm not gonna use the B word, it's on YouTube. So when a chick wants all your cash and she's willing to do anything, right? So in Areece's case, he's like, the cash fetish. What? The cash fetish got my veins poking out my calf. So basically, calf is these muscles on the legs. So it's just saying I'm chasing paper over any conditions that my muscles are growing so much they're poking out veins. And veins can be another attribution to a drug addict. He's addicted to money. You understand? He has a fetish for money. Makes him chase it until the veins are popping out his calf. So that's a fucking dope bar, right? And he's like, rain, snow, sleet, or hail, baby boy prevails over any spell. I never sold a tale, right? As you know, in any weather conditions, I'm gonna prevail, because there's a lot of people who are saying he's never gonna make it. You know, Areece is loved, but he's also hated, and he's like, prevails over any spell, never sold a tale. So basically, never sold a tale. I never sell an imaginative narrative. Everything he always quotes that everything he writes on tracks is real, so he's never lying on these tracks. You feel it? So, and this thing of prevailing over any spell. There's an analogy here I found from, who's this dude? CK on this website. He says that the reason why he's naming weather conditions is that he's naming the 3 witches from the Shakespeare drama Macbeth. All right, the witches, when they arrive, there was always a bad spell. There was always a bad weather condition when these witches arrive. So basically, Areece is saying I prevail over any spell after naming all these terrible weather conditions. I don't know how to feel about that one. I don't think he goes that far, but that's a really good analogy. But if you can see the analogy over spell and tales, spells usually exist in fairy tales and all of that. But he's just saying that, look, I've been in a game and I'm going to be here. And it's possibly after Ambitious, right? They were kind of cursing him out after that. You know how that label is. So he's like referring to that. So let me just go to the other part.
How many of them throwing coins and he must call through the scalp? The veils over any spell, never sold a tale. I swear the boy really a star like Bartlett, no NFL. How many of them throwing coins inside the wishing well, wish me well. Showing me they true colors only left me pale. Been running laps 2 summers, even left the trail. Rewriting history, everything in braille.
So we're gonna leave it there because, oh, damn, that's hard. Anyway, he's like, I swear the boy like a star, really a star like Bartlett, no NFL, right? So he's referring to this what you call football player, not soccer, football, American football. So there's Adam Butler. He's a football star, and the thing that's really stands out for me, I did some research. He's like, what did he say? I swear the boy really a star like Butler, no NFL. So looking deep, Butler plays for a team called, what is that team? Right, let me check it out. So Adam Butler plays for a team called, or he used to play, I don't know, England, what, I don't know the name. I just have the logo here. So basically the logo of the team has a star, like on the forehead here, right? I saw a boy like a star, no Butler, NFL. So that whole scheme is about the player, the team, the NFL team, and the star on the team. So relating the logo of the team he plays for, used to play for, it has a star. So he's a star, but no Butler, no NFL like that. I think that is dope. Maybe I'll show a graphic on screen to show what's happening. And he's like, how many of them throwing coins inside the wishing well, wishing me well? So he's just asking that how many people that are throwing coins inside the wishing well, wishing him well, because there's so many two-faced people. It's like these people don't want to say they don't want to see him make it, but their actions actually say that. It's a question. It's a question he's asking himself. How many? And I think he's using wishing well, wish me well. It's a perfect rhyme, right? And it's all about W's, like it's an alliteration, so kind of dope. Like how many of them throwing coins inside the wishing well, wish me well, wishing well, wish me well. So play around the scheme. It's like showing me the true colors only left me pale. So the definition of pale is lack of pigment. I'm a graphic designer, so I know it's like lacking color. It's just pale. So showing the true colors only left me pale. So he's creating the dark and the light. He's creating a contrast of saying people are fake. When they show the true colors, I go pale. Me and them are opposites. You feel me? So let's move on. And he's like, I've been running laps 2 summers, even left the trail. Right? 2 summers meaning 2 years. Right? Might be saying that I left the trail after leaving Ambitious, because after he left Ambitious, everybody maybe thought he wasn't gonna make it, but he in those 2 summers, 2 years, he really left a trail where he goes. The trail is leaving evidence of things he's done. So he's done really good for himself, right? He's like rewriting history, everything in Braille, right? Braille is the reading system for blind people. So basically, he rewrites history that we can feel. So blind people read by feeling the Braille system, right? It's like rewriting history, everything in Braille. So he's rewriting it. He's not writing it, right? His power over writing this history is that we can feel it, like blind people, right? Even blind people are gonna be able to feel him rewriting this great history and shit. So, and he's like, okay, let me see.
It's all I got, it's only right that I do it for life. No true colors only left me pale. Been running laps 2 summers, even left the trail. Rewriting history, everything in braille. It's all I got, it's only right that I do it for life. Nobody flies, I could give a fuck about your charter flight. Hands down, me and Mash, I like Marcus and Mike. I could be talking Willie Martin or Garvey and Tyson. My RV a tyrant, you and the king, you a tyrant. Early mornings.
Okay, we're gonna end it here because the other raps for me are just him talking about his dad and his sadness. It's no bars, it's just context of how life is hard. It's young and they're relying on him. So I'm gonna just continue from where continue. It's still bars, it's really hard. So he's like rewriting history, everything in Braille. It's all I got. It's right, I do it for life, right? Nobody flies. I can give a shit about your charter flight, right? Status of him being fly. So your charter flight, your important flight, it's not important to him. And he's like, hands down, me and Mash are like Marcus and Mike. I could be talking Will and Martin or Will and Martin, or what did he say? I don't understand that. Let me just play it back again because I said there's no lyrics. So
Give a fuck about your charter flight. Hands down, me and Mash, I like Marcus and Mike. I could be talking Willie Martin or Garvey and Tyson. My RV and Tyrant, you and the king, you a tyrant. Early
okay, I got it. Because I wrote it. So he's like, hands down, me and Mesh are like Marcus and Mike. I could be talking Will or Martin or Garvey and Tyson. So what it means is that Mesh beat, you remember they fought, but they were good friends. So me and Mesh are like Marcus and Mike, right? Bad boys. They're the bad boys. I could be talking Will and Martin, which is Will Smith or Martin Lawrence, or Garvey and Tyson, which is Marcus Garvey and Mike Tyson, right? So let's check who these people are. Right, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence, we all know them from the people who acted the movie Bad Boys, right? Me and Mash are like Marcus and Mike. Marcus and Mike is their names on Bad Boys. So now he's taking it. I could be talking about Will or Martin or Garvey and Tyson, right? Now he's mentioning the surnames of Mike Tyson and Marcus Garvey. So everybody knows who's Mike Tyson, right? Possibly the greatest boxer who ever lived, right? And then this mysterious figure he mentions, Marcus Garvey, right? Pretty important person. He was like, you can say a black activist, right? One of the most important people to lead black people in attaining their freedom. So it's Marcus Garvey. Let me just read who Marcus Garvey is famous for. So it says, as the leader of the largest organization mass movement in black history and the originator of modern black is beautiful ideal, Garvey is now best remembered as the champion of the Back to Africa movement. So what Areece is doing here is just mentioning how great him and Mash Beats are together, or were, because I'm not sure if they're still together, right? And he's like, I don't know what he says. You a king, you a tyrant, right? Creating the contrast. I don't know who he's talking to, but after mentioning all these great two people who always flock together, right? He mentioning that you ain't the king, you ain't the tyrant. I didn't hear the other bar because there's no lyrics. But if I could differentiate between what's a king and a tyrant, right? A tyrant can be a king, right? But he can never be a true king. A true king is chosen by the people, right? Right? And I think Areece's career is based off him having slimes, call it slimes, right? People who are really loyal as a fan base, right? He's not holding anybody hostage with marketing or anything. People who really down for him, right, are down for him. He's one of the strongest rappers, right? To have a strong fan base, like not strongest, the best rappers with the best fan base in SA, right? You ain't a king, you're a tyrant, right? A tyrant is a person who forces to rule, right? Puts people under fear or under terror or manipulates them into ruling. He is not chosen, right? He could be talking about how other rappers overmarket themselves to people who are not really their fans. Sometimes they get the numbers, but they never keep the fans. So you will see that in the future, these people are never gonna last in that predicament, right? So I think that's done. Yeah, that's done. I'm sorry, my camera's out of battery and I'm not gonna charge it. But I hope you enjoyed the explanation. I'm really in an uncomfortable place right now. Like, I don't like the new setting I'm in. But leave the comments below of what you'd like to see me break down or analyze. I'm thinking of doing Who's This Pretty Ugly next. But this was hard. What do you think? I think this was really hard, man. I didn't go into detail because I want to keep the video short. But this, one of the hardest, right? One of the hardest. And whenever you go deep into understanding what he's talking about, you can actually get that these balls actually flew above our heads, right? They flew above our heads. And he said it as well when he's like, most of these balls flew around your head. So I'm not going to explain the last part where he talks about his dad, them forcing him to make a decision. He's only 22, right? I think that part is just the ending of context. But what do you think? Was it hard? Was it not? If you think it was hard, comment. If you think it wasn't, comment. So see you next time. Thanks.